And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Premier Circuit Major number 2 landing here from San Antonio, Texas. My name is the Mapman, and alongside me once again in the booth, Mr. Zep. Another banger after banger after banger. It just seems like we keep getting the best of the best matches to watch. Even in the 3-0s that Element Blues had in their last match, it was still entertaining. I mean, almost a speed run like of how to play Call of Duty. And now, though, coming into a little bit more of a challenge here with Destro Gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely more of a challenge, but still with the way that Element Blue managed to play in that last series that we saw them in, it looks like it's going to be hard for any team to be able to stop them. The momentum that they're on at the moment, the way that they can see through these games. I mean, taking a look at the bracket here, how everything has panned out. I mean, these teams have just been really bringing it so far as we are on to the winners semi-finals. And yeah, just ultimately it's been a really great day of Call of Duty. Been a great weekend of Call of Duty so far. We've seen some brilliant gameplay from some amazing teams, and things are about to get a lot closer as the top teams move forward in the bracket.
Yeah, and you can kind of see our marquee matchup there in this winners semi-final, Destro Gaming versus Element Blue. And, you know, Zep, it's something that we talked about yesterday when we were going through pool play. We were seeing teams get eliminated, what teams were really going to be showing out here in this bracket Saturday. And these are two of the teams that we kind of looked to, but you said you didn't want to make too many early predictions. But now that we're here, now that we've seen these teams be able to make a couple of runs through the bracket, now here into the winners semi-finals, number 2 versus number 3 seed, this is one that we've kind of been looking towards here. And now heading into a map set, oh my goodness, Zep, how many times am I going to cast a Vista Hardpoint with you this weekend? I think we might just be Vista experts at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been a treat of a day for me getting to see even more Vista Hardpoint, but I mean, I think you alluded to it really well between these two teams. It should be a way closer or fair, but I do think I have to go for a bit of recency bias here, just from seeing how well Element Blue played in that last match and kind of the way they conducted themselves as well, and just making sure, you know, to get that job done, seeing it out. And playing on a Vista, which we've seen them decimate, I believe, was a 250-39 in their last series. A complete annihilation, a shutdown of the opposition, not allowing them to even get any really scrap time in other than maybe 5 to 6 seconds here and there. A perfection of performance, really. And now as we go into this one, it's going to be a hard one to call because, as I said, these two teams can definitely bring more to the table when it comes to an even matchup. But Element Blue, they're the ones that'll definitely be feeling hot.
Yeah, Element Blue coming off that hot 3-0 win, one of the quickest series we've seen all weekend long. Destro Gaming looking to extend this one and possibly even take one off of Element Blue. Early time here for either team as we kind of bounce back and forth. Element Blue will be able to secure some of the early time off of P1, but it's just going to be continuous bodies being thrown into this hill. Trades going all around, but 3 dead in the feed for Destro Gaming, followed by the 4th. Will be able to lock themselves in now to this P1, really starting to lock over towards the side of P2. Talk about the chainability of a lot of these hills, but so far, no one really able to get a strong foothold in this one, and I think it's kind of what you expect on a Vista between two teams of this caliber.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Element Blue coming in for some time, Destro Gaming racking up after a couple of kills, but then Element Blue answering right back, taking them off the time and leaving it at a 17-9 point. Very evenly contested, so it was, as we rotate now over towards this P2 where Element Blue are more set up for it, but here we get to see the breaking power of Destro Gaming, and so far it does seem to be a very good hold from Element Blue as they play so well together as a team, as we've seen already. You know, they really know how to bait and switch for each other and use each other to each other's advantage. How many more times can I mention each other in a sentence? We'll see, but Element Blue, fantastic lockdown on this P2 as Destro Gaming try to break in.
Yeah, just constant kills in the feed. Siski, Veli all lighting it up. Still trying to hit through this mid area is the rest of Destro Gaming, but just constantly being cut down. They've got to find a way to get these players out of these power positions. Brian's going to do good there, followed up by Stu as well. Oh, even a teammate mixed in there, but Destro Gaming will come out at least on top of the kills, but not on top of the time, as Aiden is able to take the straggler, holding the time down, still get a couple of seconds in the back pocket there, and still kind of lock this side of the map down. The Element Blue is really been working for here, this P3. 1v1 now between Kotzi and Delo kind of around this point. Delo's going to elect to wrap through mid. That's going to be a nice kill towards the backside, but still for Element Blue, they are here. They are ready to lock this hill down, and now getting over just about a 40-point lead as we head into P3.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has been a closer affair between these two teams, but I would argue that we're seeing a little bit more map control coming out of the side of Element Blue. They've got the spawns working their way, and at the end of the day have been able to soak up that time, which, you know, you can have as much map control or as kills as you want, but if you're not getting those valuable seconds, you're not getting anywhere. But Destro Gaming, to be fair to them, have made a good push on here, but that kill feed is lighting up Blue, and Element Blue will be able to get another batch of time here, as it looks like they've gotten the majority and are already starting to rotate towards that P4. As you see player 4 Del West go for that shell but get taken out on the bottom side of the map. So Element Blue are already set up for that rotation and are looking strong already on this Vista hardpoint.
Yeah, and it was the 2-3-4 rotation that Element Blue was able to build such a big lead in their last match against Aspire Gaming on this same map mode combo, and looking to try to complete that again. It's just something in the game plan for this map that it looks like they've practiced a lot of time, and you can already see it. 3 dead in the kill feed there as Destro Gaming does find their way back into this one, but Element Blue going to try to use these close angles to try to re-pinch this hill. But now with Destro having 2 people kind of tucked away into these corners, Stu going to get the info onto Kotzi. There's a couple of shots do get thrown in. Contested hill for now. Adam Savage going to be able to take out Belly as well as B-Man onto the next trade there. 4 clean in the feed and a perfect hold onto this P4 from Destro Gaming, and something that we just couldn't see Aspire do in that last one, finding the breaks on into this Element Blue team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we are seeing a case of when a team gets set up around a hill, they are able to hold it well. Destro Gaming, I think, catching Element Blue, still in that rotational period of getting towards that point, getting in, getting set up, and then from there being able to hold it. Both of these sides having the gun skill, allowing them to win from advantageous positions, and I think it's leading for a far closer affair. As we're on to the rotations, it looks like it's going to be Vel trying to sit back, lock down those spawns. No one really holding the point as of yet. They're all hanging around, but who is going to get that first batch of kills and make the break onto the point? So far, Destro Gaming with a few.
Big comeback into this game. Now looking to potentially take the lead here as B-Man now onto the point. Help underneath the bridge as well. A good setup here for Destro Gaming, but a little bit of a pinch now starting to come in from Element Blue. They want to send Siski around the backside of this bridge while the rest of the team hits through the back. Not going to be able to find any kills though there, as it's just continuous gray now in the kill feed. 3 for 1 now. Kotzi the last one up and the last one down. Clean 4 dead in the feed is the lead now in Destro Gaming's hands. Still 17 seconds to work with though on this hill. Element Blue trying to find the re-break, and as well that quick rotation there onto P1, looking to take advantage of that. We are going to be almost dead knotted up here, heading back into our second set of rotations.
Yeah, both of these teams have started to go so back and forth with each other where it's only literally 1 point in it. Returning to that P1, Destro Gaming has answered back well to what Element Blue have been able to offer, and now both of these teams are going to be kind of semi going back to the drawing board here, seeing what they can do differently and where they can improve on these next set of rotations, as I think both teams will be feeling like they could have gotten a little bit more time here and there if they had played it slightly better. So far in this P1, it is Element Blue who are once again getting a little bit of a lead. But as we know, this hill will be so back and forth. That's how you set up for that next point.
115 to 99. Dello tries to find a couple of kills there, but it's too back and forth for any team really to extend that lead too much farther. But 23 seconds left here on P1 to work with. And Destro Gaming looking to collect that scrap time, get this again just about tied up. And it's these with 25 to 30 second left breaks that each team is able to find that's really allowing this game to be so quite contested. And now heading into our second P2 here, almost dead knotted at 120 apiece. It's really anyone's game, and it seems like Zep, the first team that could really make a solidified hill on maybe chaining back-to-back hills, could do just enough to be able to push themselves into the win. But now a couple of kills do come through the feed. B-Man able to find one. Aiden does find the trade there onto Stu, and a couple go back and forth either which way. It still allows Element Blue to lock themselves into this hill. Contest for now, but still kills going any which way you like. But Element Blue coming out just barely on top of these engagements, Zep, and it's allowing them to just have a slight edge here in this hard point. 30 seconds still left to work with on the hill. Element Blue has the good side spawns for new. Cruise Missile does get invested there, and now for Destro Gaming, potentially another one of those 20 to 25 second breaks that allows them to keep this game close.
Yeah, we're seeing so many 30-30s coming in from these teams where they're kind of both getting, you know, half the time each, or 20-20s by the time that hill is contested, because there's a lot of contested time and a lot of time where Teams are kind of setting up around the boundaries of the hill, realizing that, yeah, they may have the side, they may have the push, but they do not have it locked down. The enemy is lurking in the shadows, and Destro Gaming lurking in the shadows of Element Blue here as they're only a couple of points behind, trying to get back into the lead. But Element Blue once again find themselves the side that are set up on the spawn side needed for these points, and I think that's been the biggest thing for Destro Gaming. But that streak did come in and was put to good use, so maybe could orchestrate a little bit of a break here. But Element Blue have been setting themselves up right tactically on this map, which has been giving them the slight advantage.
Element Blue starting to extend that lead ever so slightly here, but the re-break trying to come in for Destro, but just no kills really going their way at the moment. Adam Savage able to find one, immediately traded right back out, so B-Man kind of the last one up to do anything. He's dealt with by Veli, and that's going to allow Element Blue to gain a good solid lead here. 11 seconds of scrap to go in your back pocket would get this lead to just about 20 seconds, but Element Blue finds the kills on Old that they need, cleans up all of the stragglers, and now gets themselves a 30-point lead heading into this P4. They have rotated to it. Destro Gaming was able to find the break on the last set, but Zeb, this is where Element Blue could really extend this lead to possibly an uncatchable point, but it has to be clean here on this P4. Already 2 men going down, make it 3. Veli still the last one up, but he is dealt with, and it's another break onto this P4 from Destro Gaming.
Yeah, Destro Gaming seem to love to push onto this P4. They've broken it so well both times, and I think it just has been the case with Element Blue that, you know, they're constantly giving themselves that 20-30 point advantage, and eventually you get to the later game. That's all you need, even if it's a 5-point advantage. If that 5 points gets you over the 250 mark, then you've won the game, simple as. So Element Blue just doing enough to stay in the lead for the moment, but it'll only take one solid hill from Destro Gaming to really overtake them and set themselves in the driver's seat coming into the final point or two of this map. So it really is do or die time for both of these teams, and like, you do have B-Man absolutely popping off for the side of Destro Gaming, 28 and 18. The KDs around across the board, should I say, on Destro Gaming pretty good, whereas Element Blue, you know, you've Aiden 17 and 28. It's been lacking at times, and that kind of just is the perfect example of tactics versus slaying working in different moments. And I'm kind of surprised that that's something that's, you know, happening on this map, given the fact it's such a high engagement map, that we're seeing the sort of the tactical now winning out. But Destro Gaming can certainly make those kills count coming into these last few points.
The turn and burn there on the hill. Veli, though, still here looking to do a little bit of damage. B-Man continuing that streak that he has been on all day long. Shots coming in, and, you know, it's like you pointed out, Destro Gaming is playing fast. They are winning a majority of the engagements, actually up in the slaying department, but it is just not amounting to time for them necessarily. A slight edge here for Element Blue, as it does look like Destro Gaming wanting to clean up the rest of the scrap time as gunfights towards new happen, and the fight for P1 starts to ensue. 215 to 196. It put Destro Gaming right at about 205, just down 10 points. Both teams really able to win it here. Now on to this P1. Destro Gaming going to be the first ones into the hills. Stu and Dello going to be able to find kills towards the backside. Adam Savage in a good position to be able to find another one. Siski, nice slide out, immediately traded right on back. Stu finds Veli in top. Burger, and all of a sudden, Destro Gaming, that lead has already been swept away under the rug. They are now starting to hit closer to that 250 point mark, 225 and counting.
Yeah, Element Blue have kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit here. Destro Gaming can win off this point, and all these teams need really is enough points off P1 to maybe win it on P2. But the way Destro Gaming have set up, maybe they just win it right here and now. 236 to 215. The setup actually is in now from Element Blue, who picked up some big kills, so it is going to come down to those rotations. You do have Zadam Savage on that flank that could provide a lot of help for Destro Gaming, and he does. I think he picks up 2 in the hill. It's Destro Gaming flooding on, but they are not going to get enough off that point to win it. It's all down to the rotations, which Element Blue have. This is going right down to the wire. Element Blue have to play perfect hardpoint.
Yeah, they didn't win it off that P1, but they got pretty damn close. 248, only needing 2 seconds. One break in could find it. B-Man almost the kill that he needs, but Adam Savage cleans up the trade in for 2 seconds. 250 to 228 as Destro Gaming pulls this Vista hardpoint back from about 60 points down, use the slaying to their advantage, and are able to take a 1-0 lead here in the winner's semifinals.
Yeah, what a game to watch. That went right down to the wire. Both of these teams really going back and forth, given everything that they've got. It just looked like for a moment that Element Blue done enough and were beginning to pull away with that game, that they were beginning to feel more confident, but then Destro Gaming come that P4, it really pulled it back, rotated well, ultimately then got onto that P1 on the final set. Managed to rack that time up enough, got massive kills against Element Blue so they could gain a lot of time, and really had Element Blue scrambling towards whether or not they chow that P1 set up for P2, and then of course rotating onto that P2. They broke it perfectly. I think Element Blue felt like they might have been beaten at that point as Destro Gaming pulled it back at the death while constantly keeping themselves in contention. Terrific map 1 to watch, and sets us up for a series where I have no clue where it's going to go.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it a little bit in the pre-show that this series we could both see going 4 or 5 games, and you know, after that first hardpoint so closely contested, even with the heavy slaying power that Destro was able to present there, I mean, I looked at it kind of 4-4 across the board, and every single player, just top to bottom, had more kills, and it ended up showing there at the end when they're able to put it together. But now heading into an invasion S&D that can get very spread out along the map, where tactical play is exactly what's going to win you the game. I mean, this could be favoring a little more in Element Blue's favor. It's just going to be interesting to see how both of these teams choose to play this, especially for me coming to the offensive side.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Element Blue will be looking at how that map number 1 played, realizing that ultimately they did have the kind of the tactical advantage in how they were setting up, way less kills, but were able to keep themselves super involved. But also, if Destro Gaming can get aggressive here off the bat, which it looks like they might be doing, they'll be able to just isolate one-on-one gunfights, and at that point tactics just go out the window. It's all about if your gunny is working for you, and Destro Gaming were definitely outslaying in that map 1, so they'll be looking to take it to this map 2.
Early shots in from Siski, but not able to find the first blood. Delo will get out with his life and with the bomb. So Destro Gaming will stay at full strength, 4-4 apiece now, as we're just under a minute to go in the round. Slow and stoic play from both of these teams, as now the hit, though, going to elect to come through Cafe. It looks to be kind of a bully out play towards the A bomb site. Siski, the player laying in wait, going to be having to deal with this, and oh, a weird exchange! A team nade double kill that gets Siski, but not before Siski is able to technically, I guess, take 2 with him to the grave. Leaves Destro Gaming into a 2v3, and about as well as you could hope it would go, as Element Blue is going to be able to clean up their one onto Stu. Leaves B-Man all on his lonesome here in the 1v3.
Yeah, B-Man has a lot to do from here and probably won't be able to get it done, and that does seem to be the case. Element Blue coming away with round number 1. Yeah, one of the weirder rounds I think we'll see in this major this weekend, but ultimately Element Blue won't care about that. They got over the line in that one, and that's exactly what they needed after coming off that loss that was, you know, so close yet so far. Get the first round of map number 2 under your belt and start to get a bit of momentum going. But again, with the way these teams play, it's so hard to see where this map is going to go.
1-0 up for Element Blue. Kind of what we talked about, a little bit more tactical play out of them, and maybe a little bit of luck there in that freezer area with the nade kind of killing your teammate. But bomb for Element Blue, looking like it wants to make its way up towards the B site. Broken control now, trying to be fought for from both of these teams. Kot's able to get one, immediately traded out, but Siski finds his trade, so it still leaves them in a man-up position. Element Blue now looking to push the issue here up towards the B-bomb site. You still have a player, though, kind of hitting around the wrap, as both of these players now from Destro Gaming looking to re-hit this from B Street. Zep, it's an interesting one here. Stu will be able to find a kill, but still, 2v2. Bomb has not gotten planted yet.
Yeah, I'm shocked that bomb didn't go down, but they've gone for the instant replant here. A good strategy to put some time on the board, and Siski taking out Adam Savage now, 1v2. As Element Blue have the clock on their side as well, it's up to Stu to get a push onto an incredibly hard to break B site. Element Blue done a good job of getting through to B, and it looks like they may have done enough to secure another round.
Sliding in. Stu, though, able to take out A, not able to find the last. Element Blue, as Zep said, doing themselves just enough to get their second round on the board, and we've already seen the S&D prowess that this team has been able to possess against other teams, but doing it here against Destro Gaming. It's what we talked about. The S&D seem to play a little more into the favor of Element Blue, but it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to be able to find a respawn against the heavy slaying power of Destro Gaming. But so far, up 2-0 here in this map number 2, and looking to tie the series up at 1 apiece. And Zep, this has been, you know, nothing that we wouldn't expect from winter semifinals, but this has been one of the more competitive series that I think you and I have got the chance to cast this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both of these teams are clearly bringing a lot to the table, and you know, we've often talked about it already in this series, the kind of the tactical prowess versus just the slaying power. And you know, I think looking at maps and the way that this is playing out, Destro Gaming getting a great two-piece there, is that, you know, it's going to just go away of maybe the hard points are always going to favor the team who can outslay, aka Destro Gaming, but the control and S&D are going to be the map modes where Element Blue, they'll have the opportunities just to pull it back and show what they can do. But this round doesn't look like it's going to go in their favor, to be fair, as they now find themselves in a 4v1 with that bomb going down. A good offensive round from Destro.
Yeah, and Aiden's got a good position back here to at least find 2. Now with 30 seconds left, he still has time to work with. He's just very cut off from the bomb site here. Stu's just got too much of a power position on that tank. Will be able to find that first round. A little bit mixy towards the end, but a first clean 3 kills will do just enough for Destro to be able to walk away with that one. Keeps this S&D close. And another thing that we haven't really talked about through this, as they do find their first round for Destro Gaming, this is still a big position for them to be able to go up 2-0 in this series and really take a chokehold on it heading into a control.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Destro Gaming, it's funny, they've won the map number 1. We've seen how good they are, and we've seen that they've been able to outslay, and yet a lot of our focus kind of has been towards what Element Blue can do. I suppose it's just because Destro Gaming, they kind of, while getting the kills in that map number 1, they weren't really able to take a chokehold on that game until maybe the last point or two, so they kind of just snuck in there for the win, and I'm just curious to see how they'll be able to do so again. Like, we haven't seen them at any points be super dominant in something that they're doing, but you know, maybe once they get the momentum going on like a search and destroy and they chain a few rounds together, we can see them maybe start to suck the life out of Element Blue, because they definitely do have the ability, especially on the one-on-one gunfights.
54 seconds left in this round. Interesting to see, Siski will pop the first blood for the side of Element Blue, seemingly knowing where Dello wants to come through as well. And now Adam Savage able to trade one back. Stu trades another one. Stu might be good for 2, but no. Traded on the other side of the map. Still, though, will leave Veli alone in a 1v2. Pops up like a whack-a-mole, able to take one down. Now into the 1v1. MCW out. Not going to be able to find the timing. And Destro Gaming able to find their second round on the board, not us up at 2 apiece here in a very big swing map, as now Destro Gaming has found their footing here in this S&D.
Yeah, absolutely. They really are getting into the swing of things here, and you know, 2 for 2 answering back. It's now up to the side of Element Blue. Are they going to be able to answer back here themselves, or are Destro Gaming going to be able to continue this run? But we're going to have to see how these teams are actually on the comms at the moment, how they're holding it together as we go for a listen in with Element Blue.
I'm watching the crossback.
Okay.
Freezer, small door. Alright, that's the only one. That's the guy top blue. He's holding B.
You don't want to back up to the sandbags
Freezer,
right
bro.
now?
Nah.
Child, you dead?
Deep right, B-man. B-man, in cafe.
In freezer, bro.
Okay, I'm stunning tight. I didn't stun anything. I'm nading in.
One close mid tank on me, they might slide at me, guys.
Back right. Alright, 1 P3, guys. Let's retake from mid.
Hold 8 and Zoe, bro.
I have it.
Seeing if he squares into the tank or not.
I have it. Do you have the A-cross?
Yeah, I think they're gonna end up.
What do you have? I have to give you a...
I have mid tank, bro. They can go dark. Can you look at my dark?
MP3, no. B-man's still in P3.
You have dark? Okay, bet. Just look.
B-man's still P3.
Just look over my mid. Look over my mid.
I am.
Okay. I have A then.
I hear you. Yeah, B-man was P3.
B-man was fire card.
Okay, heard that.
And you have text.
I hear you.
Yep, I will.
No, I'll turn. You
They
stay.
need me. I'm dead.
Once I
I'm watching. They're better coming.
Pushing weak.
On me. Full health, bro.
Alright, that's the guy
mid tank and
P3.
then on A.
Yeah.
2 on mid tank.
I hear you.
DVD, Dom, and fire card.
Okay, bro.
Oh, good. Set on that strat. You gotta.
Huh?
I mean, I guess I should have ran away, but you gotta lay down on the sandbags. You were like standing up. You weren't playing the strat, right?
I mean, I got my one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. In the future though, like, cause you're just gonna get traded. The whole point is you're trying to hide there, and I'm baiting for you.
Good. We're good.
Well, a little bit of back and forth going on between both of the, really the team of Element Blue right now, Zep. I mean, you found themselves up 2-0, but now it's 3 rounds in a row from Destro Gaming, and a little bit of frustration in the comms.
Yeah, I think frustration really is beginning to seep in here, you know, because it's not a comms that really scream that they're getting ready to regain. If anything, it's comms that sort of maybe hint at the cracks just beginning to show on how they want to play. Destro Gaming seem to have the answers, and Element Blue maybe a little bit stifled. Of course, they have plenty of time to pull this back, but Destro, after having 3 in a row, you do not want that to turn into 4 or turn it into 5. You cannot let them garner that momentum and potentially go into a map 3 having taken a 6 in a row S&D, where you really feel like you're losing your grasp on the series. Element Blue, they have to start answering back. They have a bit of time, but no more than a round or 2 before they'll need to start picking up a lot of their own.
Destro Gaming on the defensive side, just holding their power positions, holding these angles. Aiden's finding some good shots through the window here onto Adam Savage. Save that spot for your rank play if you ever want to chow bridge. As Aiden not able to quite find the kill, but 30 seconds left. I mean, this clock has just been milked away from the side of Destro Gaming. They have just refused to move out of these spots. Adam Savage keeps giving the comms out that they only seeing one on the A street, but that bomb site is starting to be filled up with Element Blue players, and the bomb tries to make its way down. B-Man, though, through the smoke, through the fire and the flames, right into an MCW, though, gets taken down and leaves us into the 3v3.
Yeah, bomb down 3v3. It's on the shoulders of Destro Gaming to get in for the break. It seems to be a large calf setup with Aiden sitting out wide watching that street. See how they look to push in. Not being able to get that kill.
Oh!
Bit unfortunate on the timing. What's going on here? A 1v2 now. To be honest, I've absolutely no clue what I just seen.
What's going on? Well, Dello gonna get set to the ground, and Element Blue somehow gonna walk away with that round. That had to be the wildest sequence I have seen in quite a while on an Invasion S&D. Dello hiding right behind the door, sees 2 players run by him, people running through the smokes, people running through the fire and the flames, as we called. And if you ever needed a round to go your way, that would be it. Element Blue is able to knot us up at 3 apiece. And something to kind of touch back on as well, Zep. You know, we talked about the little bit of frustration sensed in those comms from Element Blue. It's been 2 maps in a row where they've had a pretty steadily lead on, and it just kind of slips away from them there. And you talk about kind of the flow of a series, how that can be as a player if you're kind of in 2 maps where you really feel like you did enough to win, you really feel like you had the edge, and it slips away 2 times in a row. It can absolutely be demoralizing.
Absolutely, and I think for Element Blue, you know, we're seeing the prime example of, you know, when you're playing against an opposition that isn't quite all there like they did in that last series, and they're just able to play the way that they want to play and get the win from that. It can kind of lead to this confidence where you're happy with your plans. But you know, now you're going against a side like Destro Gaming who can, okay, maybe go down a few rounds, see how Element Blue are playing, and then adjust how they're playing to combat that. Maybe adjust the pace, who's channeling what, where they're pushing, how many people they're pushing with. They just fundamentally change the gameplay and then have the gun skill to back it up. And then Element Blue don't be able to seem to readjust to that. They seem to find themselves at least taking too long to sort of recoup to how Destro Gaming have essentially just answered the questions that Element Blue have posed. So it's about adaptability in a series that I feel like Destro Gaming is just showing a little bit more of here at the moment.
Yeah, and I love this play from B-Man as well. His whole team gonna go down B Street. They cleared out. They know they found a couple of kills towards that side. He just plays towards back gas, waits for that A Street, A bomb push, wraps, able to find a kill that leaves Veli really all on his lonesome. Even though Veli's able to find a kill, still left alone in a 1v3. Now B-Man, oh, he's got the info. The shots are there as well. And B-Man just, it really comes down to him and that patient positioning, and something that you talked about, just being a little bit more proactive. You know that it's most likely going to be a 2-2 bomb split from both of these teams. You deal with the players on the B site, and you kind of just cover up that wrap. It's absolutely perfect from the side of Destro. Now taking a lead here once again late in this S&D, Zep, starting to get onto that trade and trade, back and forth round type of deal. It's now up 4-3. With potentially just a few more rounds to go. Kind of got the feeling of one of those round 11 games.
Yeah, it absolutely is feeling like one of those round 11 games, and we have heard how Element Blue have been cracking potentially under the pressure. Let's go for a listen in with Destro Gaming to see how they're feeling by the pressure.
Get tank, quarterback tank. Don't get picked. You're good. I got you.
Yep, I'm holding. Do the same setup.
Literally just watch right side. Yep. There's 2 here at least. Maybe 3.
They broke your trophy.
Nothing mid.
Yeah, maybe, man.
Yeah.
How about?
So they're back mid tank. So they're back mid tank.
Attack hard here. Yeah.
They're playing slow. They're playing for scam.
Really hurt their guys tank. Really hurt their
One's
guys
B
tank.
street, one's B street.
Not challenging that guy.
Dello,
Yo, Kati's DVD pillars.
secure your one, Dello.
I still have my smokes too.
Silver back mid tank. One just right up dark in the junk corner, Adam. Like mid.
I hear you. They smoke
He's needed in the junk corner. Needed junk corner. Siski dunk.
I'm looking.
Yo, they're going dark. They're flying dark. I'm pretty sure they're flying dark.
Sissy dark. Yep, he's challenging.
One's front DVD. Front DVD.
On you.
Front DVD.
Punch your
Front DVD. One guy was front DVD, boys.
I'm pushing right.
Freedom.
Hold, everyone hold.
On the thing, Kate.
Yo, last two here, get to me.
Cross. Come on,
fucking go. Good shit, kid.
Good shit, boys. Come on, bro. Around them. Close them out.
Good fucking two, man.
And I mean, absolute fire in the comms right now of the side of Destro Gaming. And I mean, absolutely, why not? Down 2-0 in this S&D, and you look up at the scoreboard, now up 5-3, looking to close it out and take a 2-0 lead on the series. Destro Gaming, I mean, Zep, it was almost kind of the complete opposite of what we saw from the Element Blue comms. The Element Blue comms a little frustrated, getting a little mad at each other, saying, you need to do this, you need to do that. Destro Gaming, they're playing off of each other. Even when one of their teammates dies, it's the perfect calm out. You know exactly where the player is going to come from, putting yourself in tradable positions, and Destro Gaming now finds themselves on that point.
Yeah, and they are completely locked in. I mean, those comms borderline can be across as frantic at times, but of course we know we've all been there. It may sound hectic, but it is controlled. Everyone is tuned in. They know what they're listening to. They're saying exactly what needs to be said, and it's that sort of momentum now that's driving Destro Gaming through. You can really hear sort of the confidence and the realization that they are about to go 2-0 up in a series if they can keep this going. They are playing as if their lives depend on it, and it is working for them, as maybe now they could take this round into trade to make it 3v3. And an Element Blue going in with a great 2. Destro Gaming, they may have to wait another round if they want to get the win.
Siski sliding in, beautiful double piece there to clean things up, but now looking for the last player. He'll get it. 3 in the back pocket, and it's Siski who absolutely blows that round up. Gets it for Element Blue, finds the angle in through Dark to be able to get him 2, and we'll follow up on Stu as well. Great round out of Siski, a good round out of Element Blue. And not only that, I mean, a dire needed round as well. It's going to have to be perfect from them here on out. The first of 3 rounds done, but still 2 in a row going to be needed for Element Blue if they want to take a 1-1 tie heading into control.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to have to rely on some individual moments of brilliance, I believe, if they want to get themselves through this. Destro Gaming will still be smelling blood here with the match point in hand. Going into this round number 10, they go for the B defense. It looks like this bomb, though, is getting worked over to this A side. You look at the placements of the maps, it's a 2-1-1 split. Are they going to make a charge for the point quick? It seems to be tentative for the moment from Element Blue. But of course, they know what's at stake here. It's a massive round.
Still 4v4. Early on. Bomb will get planted at that A site, so Element Blue doing a good job to at least apply the pressure here. Get the bomb down early, flip the map around, start trying to play a little bit of defense on the offensive side. Adam Savage, he seemingly knows that Siski wants to play here, but having to check that A street at the same time without help, so difficult as this bomb just continues to tick on away. 23 seconds left. The pressure now has to start to amount from the side of Destro Gaming, but it's going to be 2 kills that go the way of Element Blue. Now Adam Savage all left on his lonesome. 13 seconds, not able to find the kill. And we are headed to a round 11 and one of the biggest rounds here of the series. I mean, the difference between 2-0 and 1-1 heading into control, it just can't be understated.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a massive, massive round to win. Going into this round 11 now, it all hangs in the balance. Really hard to say which way this is going to go. Element Blue, they have answered back well, but will they be able to get themselves over the finish line on this map? Destro Gaming do have the defense, they have the easier job. Can they correct the mistakes that they made just at that last point? We have to wait and see, as it looks like it's going to be maybe a triple stack over towards this B from defense. We'll see how that pans out here, as it looks like it's about to get mixy.
little bit of a back out though from the side of Element Blue. It looks like they want to hit a little bit of a wrap now onto the A site. Siski just looking around through that cafe. Delo's about to have his hands full here, dealing 3 players right in his face. That's not going to be a winnable chow 99% of the time. Still a chance in this round for Destro Gaming. They need to find one of these players here heading to the bomb site. Adam Savage looks like he wants to go ahead and chow. He'll find the bomb planter. Not sure if he's going to be expecting Kotze. He's right there to find the trade. Bomb still yet to get planted, but still this site fully in control now. B-Man through the CD's door, trying to find an angle. Siski does have his kind of pinch here, and all angles really covered from Element Blue, as they as well have one around towards back rugs and back gas, but you have to look to number 2. Could potentially be able to hit the wrap around all of these players right now, but Aiden trying to make sure that he at least takes out one of them. Stu sliding up through the mid area, but shots in from Dumpster are going to be good, and all of a sudden Element Blue looks clear. 3 rounds in a row, the 5-3 curse to pull it back. Round 11 victory, and Element Blue have tied this series up 1-1 now heading into control.
Well, we did say between these two teams it would be an incredibly close affair, and we have not been disappointed. Both of these teams going right down to the wire in both modes, but this time it's Element Blue coming out the victors as we go into a map number 3. And I'm honestly shocked there towards the end, who was pushing through Courtyard, that they didn't actually check towards those bins. If they checked towards those bins, got on those kills, you were in a 2v2 where you did have the chance, but ultimately the angles were just set up. The wrong checks came in, and that was enough for Element Blue to come away with it, as they really started to find their stride around that A bomb towards the end. They were Destro Gaming never really able to mount a successful defense towards that A side, which ultimately was to their detriment in the end up, but now get to focus up once again on an invasion, but this time in control.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to say the least. I mean, it just as you had pointed out, I mean, this series not disappointing whatsoever. 250 to, I think, 236 performance there on that first map 1. Map 2 goes all the way to round 11. And Zep, I wouldn't be surprised if Control goes all the way to round 5. But we're going to toss it to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have the inevitable swing map that is Invasion Control on the docket here. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, the players are ready to get into it, and Zep and I are as well. Destro Gaming, Element Blue tied up now at 1 apiece. Invasion Control, the swing map mode combo we've got for you on the cards. Already a couple of kills going either which way, as it does look like Element Blue will deal with this initial push over towards the A side. It's the name of the game. Defense wins you rounds and championships. We'll have to see if anybody can steal that inevitable offensive round away. Zep, this one's just so up in the air. It's one of the most competitive series we've got to cast this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to that offensive series. Both of these teams will be just trying to play in a way where they win their defenses. It's going to be that team who's able to pick up that offensive win. That will probably be the difference maker, as we're on board with Destro Gaming. You know, they're set up quite well around this point, but Element Blue, we have seen them dismantle it on an Invasion Control before. Will they be able to get pushed up and potentially cause a bit of a spawn trap? It looks like they could here. They're getting them mostly pushed off B. Not quite there as of yet. It's actually DDoS pushing up, but ultimately Destro Gaming getting up for a couple. It's incredibly back and forth. They're getting on this B point, so they're getting the ticks up slowly, but losing quite a few lives in the process.
Yeah, I mean, 23-20 here on the life advantage. Destro Gaming has thrown a lot at it, but that B site of utmost importance, especially if you get into that tick battle back and forth. But B site's still not going to come through. Now the clock going to be starting to get in the back of your head a little bit with only 37 seconds left. You got 1 or 2 more good pushes, especially if Element Blue keep kind of funneling you down this B Street side. The headbutt's starting to ensue. If Element Blue is able to win out these few kills, you could see no sites captured here. A couple of kills go back and forth, but Siski still alive and kicking, and top blue's able to find 2. Now Stu a little bit on his own here. 18 seconds left. He's got to go. He's on the point. He stops the time for just now. Got to wait for the reinforcements to come through. Siski still doing work here in top broken. Able to find 1. Able to find 2. The 3rd almost comes through, but Veli's able to pick it up. Aiden finds the 4th, and all of a sudden, Destro Gaming, you're running for your lives. You're out in Narnia. You're spawning in the Nether Realm. There's nowhere you can go. Perfect defensive round for Element Blue. They allow 2 ticks to come through, and that could be huge pertaining to the rest of the game.
That was a phenomenal play towards that defensive side at B. Getting those 2 kills, nearly getting the 3rd, but having the assistance from the teammates to eventually get them pushed into the back spawn and getting that round to run down with only 2 ticks in the bag. An incredible start for Element Blue. Doing it against opposition that are definitely going to prove themselves more troublesome. This is exactly what they needed. But now they find themselves in that all-important offensive side where they'll be looking to get that win. But Destro Gaming, they'll be looking to just lock in here, make sure they win their defense and regain and try and do something on their next offense.
Destro Gaming. Gotta find a way to have a beautiful hold here, and already pressure being thrown from Element Blue up towards this A site. Nades and stuns kind of going over the top. It's been really good holds for them so far. Nothing really amounting in terms of any ticks just yet, but you got 3 players over towards this B zone, and B Street control now starting to be taken by Siski. Dangerous position, at least for the side of Destro Gaming. They've got to get a field kills, and they got to get them now. Adam Savage B-Man able to do so, but still trying to hold back that great defense around the Element Blue had is just going to be a difficult task to take.
Oh, well, Element Blue now pushed through, sitting on point, but let's see if the comms are on point with an Element listening.
Juju.
Yes, I hear you.
Don't kill.
One's top broken on me. I got the guy Juju.
Logan, top broken.
I'm challenging it, Logan. He's top tree.
Stunning mid. Yeah, Santank's shooting me. Nice. Come on, Mark.
Yeah, yes.
Stay down,
Jump.
Logan. He's top tree, 1 shot. Shit on.
Nice, good check.
Nice, good shit. I can get point.
Front DVD now, yeah.
I'm weak, guys. I can't.
Alright, he needed me.
I have your secret. He's
Yeah,
front.
yeah.
I'm coming in with you, Mark.
Alright,
I have your secret, Logan.
Been right now, B-man.
Bottom blue.
B-man,
I have
mid
your
1 shot.
secret, Logan.
B-man's 1 shot on blue, guys.
Front of me.
I'm getting run at mid, I'm gonna die.
Go
I
front
can
blue,
hit
front
him like
DVD,
twice.
front DVD, guys.
Fairly weak. He's running at you, Ace, and Mark, he chased you.
Top blue. I'm one shot.
Top blue weak. I can't shot that.
I got it.
One could be dark.
One shot.
Yeah, I'm
No,
gonna
come back top and challenge. Come back top and
Let me
challenge.
bait you for the streak.
Did you get Santank?
There.
Santank, I killed him.
B-man top blue. We have him trapped.
I'm gonna wrap my base here.
B-man, watch out. He's 1 shot top blue.
You didn't child it, bro.
You're good.
Yo, B-man could be DV.
Yeah, he's trapped on the right.
One's on gas tank. On gas
Yeah,
tank.
B-man's literally just playing for me, bro.
You're good. Leave him.
You're crossing right.
Damn,
Come blue. Come dark. Come on.
Damn.
Yo, I got flanked.
Mid tank.
He killed me. Yeah.
Mid tank. He went blue. He went DVD. Yeah.
Almost a search or patty on you.
Ace and D.
Yeah, this guy's gonna pinch dark. That guy's gonna pinch dark.
In freezer. Freezer again. He's capping.
Dilo. Dilo's really weak in freezer.
He's mid tank. That guy's dark on mid tank.
I'm naming
Adam,
tank.
I killed him.
Nice. I needed it. Alright, Dilo's
I got
also
punched.
cafe.
Dark B-man.
I'll look your dark. Focus on your cafe.
I stunned a stream, 1 star.
Yeah, heard that.
Wait, yield car 1 shot, Stu.
I'm playing for freezer.
Yield car should be dead. Or he's a
Yield car dead.
Nice.
Last one's Ace and D on me.
Careful, dark pinch again. I'm looking at it.
Yo, one was dark, guys.
Nothing pinching
Yo,
dark.
fire car 1 shot.
Okay.
It's Adam.
Play for him.
Adam, fire car.
Play for Adam.
Dark.
Oh,
dead.
He backed up somewhere.
Back across.
I'm actually.
Dude, Adam was close. Yeah, he's
Behind him, cap.
Fire.
I'm looking
Yeah,
freezer, bro. Adam,
Cap,
this
three
cross,
armor, I'm
watch this
chasing him.
cross, watch
No,
this cross.
fire door in the cross.
their side mark 1 shot.
Yeah, 2 cross.
Their side mark 1 shot, and then our side after that.
Beat on, guys. Beat on.
We're good.
Beat on.
Yeah, take your time,
Beam
take
and
your
tank. Yeah. Yo, use nades up.
Come on left. They're gonna be a search. Come on.
Yeah,
left.
nade it.
One shot Ace and D, Adam.
Oh, he's already
Nade.
On the gray card, dead. I come on.
Yeah, Adam's on the 3, guys. Be careful. Nade him,
How back to
nade him,
B's killed me.
Alright,
B-man's
come
dark
left,
right
guys. Alright. Not B-man's on B. B-man's on B.
Yeah, he wants to be.
One's mid tank.
On the car, heady B-man. I got him weak.
I got him.
Really weak.
Mid tank, mid tank.
Yeah, I'm sprinting mid tank. Come on.
One's on A. One is on A, by the way.
Look at my check.
Beat on tank, 1 on A. I don't see him in tank.
He's yield card.
Beat on me,
Yield card 1 shot.
beat
Yield card 1 shot on you.
Get on one shot. He's in DVD
No,
now.
I'm on DVD. Yeah.
Just gotta cross.
I have
do one on
close
A.
mark. I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
he's on the point. He just got off
Their side point. To their side, Mark. To their side.
Nice mark. I'll get it. We got more
Alright, we're up at tech. Yeah, we're up
by one.
Where? One thing, like when I'm up here, like, why are you not just like going like Ace and D?
I did.
Nah, you guys were, bro. You guys just were like looking
I
at
didn't-
like
I
make that guy cafe side door slide out, bro. Somebody was like looking to chow him. I don't know why.
Yeah, there was a guy fire door. He ran away 1 shot. I tried to kill him, and then there's.
Nah, you should just let him run away, bro. Then just pick up the cross.
Yeah, no, I should have. I mean, I can get pinched from D-Dom is the issue, and I can just get like killed, but.
Nah, because I can get that off spawn.
Yeah, the thing is, they had a timing, but it's, I should have just held.
I got you. Yeah, you're good.
Oh man.
You're good.
Alright, I'm going trade.
And hot comms there from Element Blue, and it's still a little sense of frustration, even though they're in the better position right now, and it just kind of seems like Element Blue, they're a little bit more serious when they're on the map, and we kind of took that even from their last series, Zep, where they were just really kind of destroying Aspire Gaming, but the comms are still calm, cool, and collected. No one really kind of getting overzealous, over-challenging, and it's seeming like this Element Blue team just always wants to stay to what they're known.
You know, Yeah, maybe it is just a case, to be fair, with Element Blue, that, you know, when the heat ramps up, they might get a little angsty in the comps. They're going at each other. Things may sound a little tense, but that is just the way that they deal with things as well. So, you know, and ultimately it seems to be working for them in these moments. I think they did play a good offensive round all in all. It just didn't quite work out, but now they have to work at this defense a tick towards A. So Destro Gaming have already improved on the offense, but they are going to be shut out of it, and now it's going to be towards that B push. And I feel like this is where Element Blue really come into their zone, right? It's where they kind of get that line across the map, exactly what you're seeing now. They're just almost like herding sheep, just trying to make sure they funnel them into that spawn point where they have all the angles covered, and B-Man doing a good job of trying to get out but only picking up one. It is just a case of Element Blue kind of working the spawns, working the pace of the map exactly how they'd wanted, but you look at how Destro Gaming are setting up there, they could be making an A push and they'd be able to get there completely untouched.
32 seconds left in this round, and you got to think you got to start to get onto one of these points here if you're Destro Gaming. Offense, it's just been kind of a struggle for them, as well as Kotze and Siski going to combine for 2. Now you're just on the deep end. You're back onto the A site, at least for now. You have B-Man over towards that side. Kotze going to be trying to find the Chow on in, but B-Man all by his lonesome right now. Not a lot he can do from this position alone. Kotze takes him out, able to really prevent that tick from coming through. And now with 13 seconds left, not a lot of angles for Destro Gaming to be able to hit. I mean, it's just kind of the rush up towards the B street, but you're just running into irons right now. Siski deals with 2, and it's another offensive round from Destro Gaming where you only get 1 tick. Element Blue's 1 offensive round has already secured them defense for the last round. Now coming out onto this offensive round, I mean, Zep, it allows for a lot of freedom for them, and it'll really allow for them to play kind of however they want. If they win this round, they win the map. If they don't, well, we get defense next round. What's the issue?
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, I don't think I've seen a better defensive team on invasion control in a long time. I mean, Element Blue play it to perfection, and you know, you're over the side of Destro Gaming now. You're gonna really struggle, right? I mean, you're going to try and defend these points. You might get through, but ultimately, you know, that next round is lingering in the back of your head. But if you're Element Blue, the last thing you want to do here is to get a little bit comfortable with that defensive round in the back pocket. You do not want Destro Gaming to garner momentum, because they have shown with momentum in the past they can do damage. So Element Blue have to try and lock in, get a quick B done here, and give themselves the time and the lives to really work down on A.
Shots coming in. Dello and B-Man able to find all 3 of the players there on the B site. You deal with that. Veli still around from the back, but Dello with a beautiful read, and now starting to pick up a couple of kills in the feed. And even though Destro Gaming may have a great showing, may not allow a lot of ticks, I mean, you still know that you're not getting defense for that last round. Now you have Element Blue starting to funnel onto this A site, double pressure onto it. Adam Savage going to elect to use the cruise missile, but it's still 2 players stacked into this A site. Beautiful nade, and Stu will be able to clean house there on the A site. Denies the tick from coming through, and now back over to the B site we go. Just back and forth across the Irish Seas.
Absolutely back and forth indeed, but 26 to 19 Element Blue. You know, they are running out of lives quickly here. When it comes to this round, whether or not they'll be able to get over the edge, it's looking increasingly unlikely, but they are, by the looks of it, going to get a solid lock on this B unless Destro Gaming are able to do something. And a couple of wave of kills could mean that they get around to the A as well, but they need it to go relatively perfect for them here at this moment. And Element Blue doing everything they can to shut up shop here, and now as they pick up that kill. And yeah, I'd be very curious to see how from here they'll actually progress through to that A point, because, you know, Destro Gaming are quite pushed up both sides as well. They might have the setup they wanted to get those final few kills.
21 to 16. Life advantage right now for Destro Gaming is in. Problem is, so is already a tick onto the A site. Only 2 ticks needed, and they still have a minute and a half left to work with. So it's just about working these kills through the mid side of the map, taking those 2-for-1 trades, slowly moving your way up, slowly starting to affect how those spawns are working for you, and trying to push onto this A site. And Aiden kind of drawing some of this attention over towards this side. He's on it alone right now, just kind of trying to be a thorn in the side, allow his teammates to come on through, but just not able to find the kills that they need. So first push of pressure dealt with from the side of Element Blue, or rather Destro Gaming, and still a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, definitely have time to work with here. But it is just going to be a tough push. As you can see, they're getting ready to realize the importance of lives now at the side of Element Blue. That this is kind of the last gas push. They needed to go perfect, and Adam Savage already taking out one. Now double the life count for Destro Gaming. Credit to them, have mounted a good defensive effort, but we'll have to look at mounting a good offensive effort next round if they get through, which will be the real killer. But Element Blue, they've gotten themselves worked up towards this A point. Big wave of kills potentially coming in here. Adam Savage though, good cover, and the setup looking strong for Destro Gaming. It looks like they may have just about done enough.
They still gotta be careful here. There's a little bit of pressure towards the side, but B-Man and Dello deal with both of those kills. So, as Zep said, just gonna do enough to at least get yourself to around 5. The problem is you are certainly going to have offense. And the name of the game here on Invasion, sadly for Destro, is defense, defense, defense. 4 straight defensive rounds now here in this Invasion. And you wouldn't expect Destro, after the first 2 offensive performances they've had, to bring this back. But, hey, we've already seen a 5-3 curse. We've already seen a 60-point lead choked on at hard point. Why not?
Exactly. I mean, literally anything could happen from here. You cannot count them out whatsoever. It just purely has been the fact that we have been seeing some nigh on perfect defensive plays from the side of Blue, and I just wonder from here, you know, what are they going to be able to do? I mean, literally the way that the setups have been so far has just been absolutely perfect from the side of Element and Destro. Even when they set up and just almost play as normal as you should on an offensive side, it's just 1 or 2 gunfights and boom, they're spawn trapped. They just literally feel like at times that they don't have a chance.
Do or die time. Destro Gaming. Gotta find it right here. You gotta find it now. Dello will find the first. He'll even find the second here to open up pressure onto the B site. If Destro Gaming could get that B site just clipped in early in the back pocket, give themselves 2 minutes to work with, it could be huge. But everybody from Destro right now just kind of playing around and seeing if they can find a couple of kills. They are able to find a 3 dead in the feed, so now push yourself up onto the point, get this locked in. You've got pressure on double sights right now. Destro Gaming looking at least a little bit dangerous here in the opening moments of this round 5.
This is an incredible setup from Destro Gaming so far. They just have to get as many ticks on A as they possibly can, even just 1 lockdown, but they don't quite get it. That A is going to be cleared. B practically in the bag for Destro Gaming, but we know A is that all important point, and that 1 tick to give them a little bit of an extra chance would have been so helpful. But now with this B grabbed, they're going to have to find a way to rotate around, get a couple of kills, get into that point, and far easier said than done. Getting broken into there. Now 25 versus 23 as well. You look at the setups, it's once again very much a back and forth, very congested around that B point, but now as you see in the map, they begin to spawn up, work their way towards that A point. They'll all get a bit more spread out, and we're going to see who holds the right areas and gets the right picks.
And they did have a player around towards that back gas side that could have been influential, but he gets taken down, so now all really needing to hit through this B Street side. Adam Savage is just laid down straight in front of the site. He does give his position away though, so they will be able to take him out. And now if you're Destro Gaming fully on the back foot, you're trying to push through this B Street side, just try to kind of control around the back. You do have numbers here though towards the back gas side, but so does Element Blue. They are fully aware of the hit coming through Destro and looking to deal with it now. But Stu, he has slipped into a very interesting position back here in back gas. Aiden's going to be able to try to find him here. Ooh, and will. That's the big kill if you need, if you're an Element Blue fan there, to feel a little bit more comfortable as the kills now start to rack up and the respawn and the reset comes through from Destro Gaming. So far, from the side of Element Blue, it has been a beautiful hold. And Zeb, nothing that Destro Gaming can do to fight out of this one at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Element Blue just immaculate on that defense. They've given up B for the first time in this mode, but I mean, giving up B, it's sort of almost considered a standard. It's testament to how well Element Blue have been able to play, that the fact that they haven't even really let teams have a look in on the point that the offensive team was almost expected to capture. It really shows the level that they can play to, and they've just defended this A point spectacularly as they congest now around the point, realizing the clock is on their side. 9v15, the lives dwindling, time dwindling, and this map looks all about done as Element Blue will come away with map number 3 to go 2-1 up in this series.
2-1 up in the series, 5 straight defensive rounds, and a very straightforward invasion control, and it was the defensive prowess of Element Blue, especially in those first 2 rounds that they had, that they were really able to kind of shut things down there, and it's just a straightforward, really nothing kind of crazy invasion control. I mean, it's exactly what we expect out of the map mode combo, and it's able to give Element Blue their first real lead here in this series. It's 2 maps in a row now. And ever since being down 3-5 in that S&D, Zep, it's been really good Call of Duty being played out of this Element Blue squad. But taking a look at this, 250 to 228, 6-5, 3-2, every game coming down to the wire. And now with a 6-star hardpoint up on the docket, I mean, this thing is still as up in the air as it was in the beginning of the series with that hardpoint prowess and really the respawn prowess out of Destro Gaming. You have to feel like this is their map to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you said, the kind of hardpoint prowess that Destro Gaming showed, the slaying power should mean that when it comes to slaying and rotating properly, they should be able to do a job on 6-star, but I just mentioned it there myself, the rotations are massive on this map, and Element Blue have often set themselves up as the tactical team to rotate early and sort of get their kills from more advantageous positions. I mean, we've seen it for so much of that map number 1. They were getting outslayed and were still 30-40 points ahead at some points. Of course, that came back to bite them towards the end, but the point being, if Element Blue can rotate well, they can pick up the kills a little bit, not allow Destro Gaming to get as mixy as they did on that map number 1. They very much have the opportunity here to see this game through, because they could just turn around and argue that Destro Gaming has been a team of moments, but Element Blue, for the most part, other than that map 1, have been ahead in games and able to see games through. But Destro Gaming, they'll be realizing that this is a hard point. This is probably their best mode to be playing, considering how they've played throughout the series, and I think they'll be looking to get this job done here and be thinking about that map number 5. But of course, as I just said, they need to get the job done here, and it's going to be easier said than done.
Yeah, and Element Blue showed their positioning to be able to play a little bit more slay heavy, but in the hard points is where we really saw that kind of slaying disparity come into play. Not as much in the S&D, not as much in the control, especially on the map like Invasion, the very tactical play coming out of the side of Element Blue really showing you that. But now heading into a 6-star that's very in your face, especially with kind of the new hard points being tweaked. We only have 4 hard points on this map. It's very, very interesting to see. I would be surprised if this didn't go all the way to 5 though, you know, because just the way that both of these teams have been playing, just the way these games have been going where they're so close, it makes you feel like the series has to be like that. And I know that we called it potentially going 4 at the beginning, but I think we could be seeing that map 5 high-rise search and destroy. Still got to get through 6-star to get on our way to do that, and Zep, it does look like we're going to be heading right into the next game here very, very shortly. I mean, obviously, I think we're both leaning towards Destro a little bit, but into the kind of wholeness of this series, who do you really give the edge to?
It's really hard to tell, because there was a moment in that search and destroy, Destro looked like they would have had it locked up, and it was a case of Element just managing to pull it out of the bag. But then you could also argue Destro pulled it out of the bag with that map number 1, because if you're out slaying and not getting more of the time, you're doing something fundamentally wrong in your gameplay. So I feel like Element Blue have just more of a sense of being able to pull it out of the bag, you know, when they need to. I feel like they can really knuckle down in their tactics and their strategies and just get themselves through to the other side, even if they're not necessarily out slaying. Whereas Destro, they have to slay, because you look again, you go back to that map number 1, it's how we reference for the hard point. If they were not able to slay as much in that hard point, they would have dropped then a lot more points than they did, because with that slaying, it was what kept them in it. So it's really hard to say. I mean, it's really hard to see what is going to break between these two teams, what is going to give. Part of me is saying, like, my head wants to say that I think Destro Gaming is going to take us to a map number 5. But something is telling me that I have a feeling that Element are just going to have enough in the gas tank to see this map through. I could be proven completely wrong, of course. We are yet to see. But that's what my gut's telling me.
Well, and you know, it's kind of that old age question that's what wins you Call of Duty games. Is it the slaying power and able to shoot your gun and get as many kills as you can, or is it the more tactical play? And you have two teams that are very evenly matched, but it's interesting where one team likes to play a little bit faster, a little bit more slay heavy, as the other one really tries to relay on those plays and that tactical style. So we'll have to see what kind of edges each other out as we start out here. Element Blue into the hard point. It's already starting to garner some time, but Destro right back in with a few kills to take a little bit of early time of their own. This P1 always mixy, especially off the first set, and we're already seeing it here as back and forth action ensuing on 6-star do or die map for Destro Gaming. Either we head to a map 5 or Element Blue heads to the winners finals. Back and forth, Dello firing 2 in the feed, able to fire his way into the hill, forces Element Blue to all spawn out towards that P3 side. So for Element Blue, you're going to be having to fight for the rotations here. You're going to be on the back foot, and it's already a slight lead here for Destro Gaming.
Yeah, Destro did a great job of going in, breaking that hill. Dello Est on a 4 streak already. Destro Gaming are going to be relying on those players popping off. The slaying power is their key to victory on the hard point, as we already discussed. So 20 and 8, no team really settling in around the point now, but Element Blue trying to get in there, funnily enough, not having the spawns, which is strange because they usually seem to set themselves up for at least having the spawns to give themselves more of a chance, but this time managing actually a successful hold from the front, as it now is all evened up at 20 apiece, and again such a back and forth mixy map.
Back and forth we go. No one able to take a real hold here in this hard point so far, but it's kind of what we expected between these two teams. We knew it was back and forth the last hard point out. Element Blue was able to hold a lead for really the majority of the game until the final few hard points, as Destro Gaming just kind of leaned into the slaying power. Already Stu showing it to you here, 7-2, firing off with another 2-piece, but Veli is here on the rotations for P3, so Siski and company will have it locked down. It'll be Destro Gaming that elects to potentially hit through the bar side here as they toss a couple of players in. 3 up now, 1-for-1 trade. B-Man will find that one on to Aiden to try to open things up as a contested hill only for a second. Adam Savage going to get dealt with as the rest of Destro Gaming try to find their way into this hill, but just nothing going for them right now as Element Blue is just cutting down every single angle, locking it down like Fort Knox.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's actually a pretty good hold from Element. The big kills coming in, Catsy with the 2, 60 with 1, and Element Blue seem to be really good at this for the most part, that when they lock down a hill, they hold it well. The only difference that was on that map number 1 P4 that we've seen in Vista, where they seem to constantly get broken. But Element Blue, when they get rotated, they get the spawns going their way, they really do seem to be in their comfort zone. But you look at the map and you look at the setups, and it is going to be Element Blue sat directly on that next point, but Destro Gaming hovering around the outskirts, getting ready to push in and picking up the kills. But Vel has just gone absolutely massive there, kept Element Blue towards the point, is going to be able to maybe orchestrate a pinch here. Element Blue just doing a really good job here of staying into points that looked like for a second they might have lost.
Yeah, and I mean, still contested hill, at least for now. Tiki spot there as Dello and Adam going to be able to find 2, fight right back into the hill for Destro Gaming in a big moment in this hard point to keep it close. And that's something that we kind of recognize from Destro Gaming over and over and over again. They were just never keen to let this game out of their grasp. Now the hit from this P1 bar side is the quick rotation right back over onto it after about 20 seconds. They're going to like to re-hit it one more time through the U stairs, but nothing going for you there. You do have Siski on a wrap around through the back glass stairs side. He's able to find one as Katsi now through the pinch from you, but he will be dealt with. One more player up on the hill, but Siski still kicking, still fighting, gets the reinforcements in. It's only 4 seconds of scrap though in your back pocket, but it's really all about this P1 rotation.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, great time there for Destro Gaming to pull themselves back into it. Still a little bit behind, but 58 to 80 and racking up the time on this P1. They seem to have found a little bit of momentum when it comes to grabbing the time and maybe showing a little bit of dominance in these last 2 hills combined. Of course, it's still early days in regards to how this map could play out, but Element Blue picking up 3 and getting themselves back onto the point. And again, we've seen this in this map, and the map number 1, that Element Blue would constantly keep themselves 20, 30, 40 points ahead, and just at the point where they started to reach that 50, 60 points ahead, Destro Gaming sort of switched it on its head, if you will, and managed to pull it back for the win. And I wonder, could we see a similar scenario here as Element Blue They are currently flying towards that P1 and working towards the P2, but Destro Gaming, we know that even when they're down, they're not out.
No, definitely not out by any stretch of the imagination, but down. That is the key word here. Element Blue has built themselves a nice chunk of a lead here, heading back onto this P2, 116 to 65 in a really important moment. If Destro Gaming does get broke and not able to hold, you can see Element Blue start to run away with this one, but that is not happening in any sense of the words here, as just continuous kills now. Gray in the feed, Destro lighting it up and starting to garner some of this time. P2 looking to be the money hill, but cruise missile, back pocket rocket, and ready to see what he can find up through the mid side. Gonna be able to take out B-Man, open up this hill for Element Blue to find their way in. The kills come through, couple extra shots as Kotze pops the 3-piece, 122 to 86, still 23 seconds to work with on this hill. You've got to think about rotations, you've got to think about the lead. Huge moment for Element Blue to take a chokehold now here in this map.
Yeah, that was a fantastic break from Element Blue, but again, not getting on to get the rest of the scrap. Destro Gaming making life difficult and getting that scrap, and that 10 going to Destro instead of Element Blue could be a massive difference maker in this map, as it'll probably get more neck and neck towards the end, knowing how these two teams play. But you look at the setups and it looks like Element Blue again have managed to rotate well, but Dello went massive in the spawns for Destro Gaming, and now they have a point to push from. But could Element Blue potentially work a spawn trap on those spawns? We have to wait and see, but no, Destro Gaming are picking up some big kills here to get pushed back onto the point. But now Vel picking up massive kills before being taken out by Stu. Like, this is so back and forth now between like players just showing individual moments of brilliance, getting like big 2 pieces, but then getting traded right back.
Couple of trades coming either which way. Destro Gaming trying to hold down this hill, but Element Blue just refusing to relinquish, continuously throwing bodies into this hill, still contested, guns ringing out all over 6-star, but still Element Blue can't find a way into this P4, but they do really a lot of work there to keep that contested, not allowing Destro to get any really solid time off of that. They get about 20 seconds back into the game, but you still find yourself down 33 heading in to this last hard point on our second set of rotations. Something we don't talk about a lot this weekend with this 6-star and the changing of the points, a 4 hard point map.
Yeah, I mean, that is a weird one, to be honest. I didn't even realize that until I started counting them on the broadcast that we done of this map yesterday. Like,
I had to double check myself. I had to double check before I said it again.
Yeah, literally. It's like, it's such a weird change up, and to be honest, I kind of liked the placements of the points before they changed them recently. I get why they changed them the first time, but the second time I do question the change. But hey, I am just a humble caster. I know nothing, and maybe these changes are welcomed by the COD community. But on this point number 4, the final point before P1, it is Destro Gaming now who've made the push onto the point, but Element Blue cleaning up well. And I think this map has sort of descended a little bit into anarchy between these two teams. Both teams very even on the holding of spawns, on the rotation, on the back and forth with the 2 pieces. We're really just seeing tit for tat here, but I really can't tell who's going to be able to pull it out of the bag going into this final half.
Back into it, 3rd set of rotations. Who wants it more? Are we going to a map 5? Is Element Blue gonna close it out here? Still a long way to go, 166 to 134. And you talk about descending into anarchy, I mean, it is just bodies being thrown into the hill, gunfights happening all around the map right now. And this P1 hardpoint with the great music from our DJ up there rocking it in the booth is just absolutely setting the scenes. 183 and climbing this hill has been really nice for Element Blue to get themselves back into that kind of dominant sort of lead, but pressure now amounting from the mid stairs, shots raining in from all around. Dello, that pistol just not gonna find anything, but B-Man finds both the trades, able to do the work, finds the 3rd as well. Count it up for him. Destro Gaming finds their way into this hard point with about 10 seconds, 15 seconds to get into the back pocket. Now those rotations on for P2, and another huge moment for Destro Gaming to try to will themselves back into this one. But something you talked about early on is the slaying that Destro likes to rely on hasn't been there for them as much in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. The slaying hasn't been there, and it's kind of shown with Element Blue even towards this later stage now, still managing to hold their lead. But, you know, a bit of a lifesaver in that P number 1 for Destro Gaming, getting that last 10 and setting up on this P2 they're really getting themselves closer and closer now to tying this thing up, when Element Blue for a second looked like they were going to be able to run away with it. Very similar actually to what we've seen previously on that map number 1, but the difference again, as you mentioned, being slaying powers. We see right there the 3 kills coming in, Element Blue back onto the point and should be able to get over the 200 point mark if they don't if they stop chasing the kills, if you will. But they eventually are sort of on and off the point there, eventually getting on, going to get over that 200 point mark right now. And it is just going to be a wave of kills. I think it's going to be the difference maker. Destro Gaming need to get in, need to get the spawns for new, lock that down, and have a good next 2 points, or it's game, set, and match.
Yeah, and I mean, they're in the position to do so, though. Destro Gaming throwing a lot of bodies towards the backside statue, but it's a 2-for-2 trade, making a 3-for-2 trade. Not really one you wanted to see here if you're Destro Gaming, but you do have players now starting to apply the pressure. 2:15 and counting for Element Blue. Can they do it here? Not quite, as it is Destro Gaming that finds the break on end, able to lock this down. Adam Savage taking out Siski. First slowdown we've had in a crazy, crazy map 4. As it is Destro Gaming that is just locking this down, taking a couple of the... Oh no. Oh no, Aiden. Aiden's got the positioning, finds 1, finds 2, but not the 3rd onto Dello, but amount allow Element Blue to slide right on into this hill. Not enough time to win it, but they get pretty damn close. Still Destro Gaming with these close spawns, able to throw pressure back into it, but everyone being dealt with. 2-for-2 trade. B-Man still here trying to do damage. Dello back in for at least a couple of seconds, but it's not what you wanted, as Element Blue now hits the 227 mark, working on into this P4.
Yeah, they're getting themselves closer and closer, slowly but surely. Element Blue going to wrap it up potentially in any hill now. Destro Gaming have to come in with a break and play some perfect hardpoint from here on in, but it's hard to play perfect against a team like Element Blue, who seem to see the finish line in sight, as Aiden picks up 1, makes it 2, and then Vel getting so excited he kills his teammate in the process. But they're cleaning up shop, Element Blue, and dare I say it, I think they've done enough.
9 seconds. All you need. Stuns, nades, everything coming over. Dello able to find a kill, but you've got to go. You've got to go now. He just has to throw his body up onto the hill. He gets taken out. 1 second remaining. Body shots being given. And Element Blue 3-1 pushes themselves on to the winners finals here at the Premier Circuit Major number 2. Destro Gaming, unfortunately, going to have to bow down to the losers bracket, but still a valiant effort to say the least. Able to bring that first map back, and it was a couple of close maps. I mean, every map very close. 250 to 229, 250 to 191. Then we had a round 5 control and a round 11 S&D. One of the best series you might see all weekend, and potentially could be looking for these two teams to maybe face each other in a rematch here in the grand finals.
Yeah, it's absolutely possible, and you have to say massive congratulations to Element Blue and commiserations to Destro Gaming, who, as you said, have put on one of the best series that we will probably see throughout the entirety of this tournament. Was phenomenal from start to finish, as close as you could get. The fact that a 250 to 191 was the biggest score disparity we've seen all evening in this series is a testament to how close these two teams brought these games each and every occasion, and it was just such an entertaining one to watch.
No, absolutely. And I mean, Element Blue, you have to tip the hats to them as well. After losing that first map like that, being almost up 60 points, you really felt like they might be down and out in the series. And even going back to that map 2 S&D, with Destro Gaming being up 5-3 in that, 3 straight rounds in a row ripped off from Element Blue, 3 straight defensive rounds ripped off from them in the evasion. And really, I mean, just controlling that hard point really well throughout that 6-star, no matter how crazy, no matter how much the anarchy ensued, as you love to say, Zeb. It was controlling the game, and it just seemed like Element Blue seemingly hit a different gear in the way that they were able to play tactically, and they were really able to nullify the really high slaying that we saw from Destro in that map 1.
Yeah, exactly. That's just what I was about to mention. I think that was the key difference in the end up, that Destro Gaming's slaying power in that map number 1 meant that they were always able to keep themselves within touching distance, and eventually made that switch up to be able to go in and hit that final blow and take that map number 1. But when it came to that map number 2, yes, it was more back and forth, yes, it was more chaotic, but the key difference was that Destro Gaming were finding themselves constantly chasing the game with no real key statistic showing that where they could take an advantage going in later on in the game. It was always Element Blue who were keeping on top of the score, I believe keeping the slaying, even if not outslaying just about, and then just being able to rotate and have some nice plays, nice pinches, flanks, whatever it may be. Element Blue were just, I think, the better team on that map, and you know, I think the anarchy just caused a bit of damage to both teams in the end up. I think they really both struggled at times as to where it just descended to chaos, and maybe if Destro Gaming were able to pick up some more kills in a more structured layout, it might have gone better for them. But I think that the chaos and the anarchy just kind of led to a stagnation of a point differentiation. It started to once again go to kind of 20-30, 30-30 hills, where both teams were just keeping themselves even on the split in terms of point distance, till eventually it got to that late game and Element Blue were just able to see it through.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have to, let's get a little call in here now with one of the Element Blue players to just really kind of get a touch on what we just witnessed. Mr. Siski, how are we feeling after what was a very competitive series top to bottom?
Can they hear me? Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
Feeling pretty good. I mean, it kind of sucks the entire series. Everybody's like kind of playing on packet loss and lag though.
So a lot of issues going on with the servers there. I mean, we kind of noticed in that map one, you guys were getting outslayed a little bit, and it really did had the lead for most of that hard point till the very end. I mean, how are you guys able to just kind of turn that series around, even from being down 5-3 in that S&D?
I would say map one. I mean, we weren't doing a lot of things we were talking about. We're not really listening because it is loud in here, so that definitely has a factor on it. Map two. I mean, we just keep composed, honestly. For being down 3-5, I mean, we've done it many times, winning like S&D tournaments online and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, great calls and great composure from you guys. I know my main man Zep here has a couple questions for you. Let's get what you got, Zep.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm not going to keep you here too long, buddy. I only have the one for you. I mean, first of all, I do just want to congratulate you. I know you were saying you were having all the issues there, but it was a fantastic series to watch. He's put on a really entertaining series to watch from top to bottom. And I just got to ask, you know, with that series being so close, every map kind of going tooth and nail to the wire, was there any point in playing that map there towards the end where you were worried that you might have a repeat of that map number one where you kind of have the lead and it's taken away, or did something feel different towards the end there where you felt like you have this game got, you just need to see it through?
I'd say it didn't feel the same. I mean, like map one, like it is what it is, it happened. But we just you put those maps behind you and don't think about them throughout the series, and we came out with a dub.
Absolutely, love to hear. That's all that I've got. Anyway, Matt, you got any more questions?
Now we'll let Siski go ahead, get out of here, enjoy that win with your teammates. You guys are in the winners finals, and we look forward to seeing you guys play in that match.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Hey, man, a few words, but many kills, Zep. That's what he's here to do. He's here to shoot guns and win games. And so far, exactly what Element Blue has been able to do. The second seed coming in from yesterday in group play, going all the way to the winners finals. But we've still got a few more banger matchups here for you guys tonight on the card. Maybe a few different pretty faces up here in the booth as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll have more action here from the Premier Circuit Major number 2.